Hey, I'm Skylar. I'm the executive chef at Sailor. Excited to be a part of Cookbook. So I picked some of my favorite cookbooks and some just amazing people that I followed throughout my life. Julia Child, I think, is a pretty important one for a lot of people. I grew up on a farm where I didn't have very many channels. In fact, I had 5 when it rained, which was strange. But Julia was always on PBS. There was always reruns of Julia talking to so many different incredible people. And so she was a fixture of my childhood while my mom shelled beans in the chair and we talked about food. Yeah, love Julia. I refer to her books a lot. Very inspiring. There's a lot of inspiring women in the industry that I've gotten the pleasure to work with. Chef April obviously being the biggest that I've worked with closely. Her book and Girl on Her Bake. This was actually the first real cookbook that meant a lot more than just me picking it up at a store and going through it and getting it dirty whenever I'm cooking a recipe and just really it harnessed. We didn't have a cookbook at the pig. I worked at the Spud Pig, and we had her book. Oh man, out of this book, I can say that we've reached for this book even currently in Sailor. It'd be like, Chef and I will be talking about something. I'm like, do you remember that thing we used to do with the pig? And she's like, yeah. You have the recipe, and I kind of remember it. And then we'll look back in her book, and there will be a form of the recipe in here. Recently, we did the carrot and avocado salad, which is always delicious. Aside from that, the horseradish cream is something that is a big staple, I think, throughout. Love a good dip. When I am looking through a book to get inspired, I will look at photos that maybe inspire me. Definitely techniques that I've never tried. I love to challenge myself. And a lot of these old techniques, if you look at a cookbook from, I don't know, early 1900s, they'll have weird words. Love a weird word, and it'll mean a word for you're really just boiling the meat. But that weird word taking you down a path to figure out how to do a different technique or what they had to do in times of scarce produce product, anything, or even just the ability to cook things and how they preserved. Huge. Fermenting, all of those techniques will inspire me. I am Italian. I didn't grow up eating or cooking Italian, but I love it. Lydia was in one of those 5 channels, PBS. Good plug for them all day. Women in general throughout food have had to be powerful. They've had to go through and be beside and push forward and had to work 10 times harder than the guy next to them. Stories I've heard. I went to culinary school for they call it a year. It's 7 months. I went to CIA. I worked full-time and did CIA full-time, which was also a full-time job, but learning about the chefs who are the foundation of cooking, like Jacques, was one of the biggest things that I pulled from that. I mean, I came from a small town. I love to use my hands. I love to cook. I also found family there. But I didn't learn about stuff. I mean, I was a dishwasher. I started, and we didn't have a dishwasher. I was the dishwasher. And I got to learn about our history, which includes these amazing people who have spent so much time particularly in French cooking, creating these techniques that are still used today. I'm still learning today. I'm constantly trying to absorb. Thank you so much, MOFAD, for having me out.